Oh my God.
What?
Oh no, that's the power. I was like, I'm flabbergasted. How? Let's get Max's reaction. Max, you sit down and then I'll come in. You'll be like, more gear. Max, we got more stuff.
What? Or?
The best actor in the world. I'm actually hell keen to check these out.
That's 300 watt.
Oh my God.
What?
What? So that's 300 watts.
We need to do a size comparison to the 300 feet.
So that's the same as that. How crazy is that? I don't even understand.
All I can imagine is you turn it on and it's just like a jet engine.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, team, so this is a brand new Zhiyun G300 light, and you can tell we're absolutely blown away by this when we first open the box. The physical size is just absolutely mind-blowing. So some specs. So the G300 is a 300 watt bi-colored light, which can actually be overclocked to 500 watts, but I'll touch on that a little bit more later. There's also a G200 as well, which is the 200 watt version, and that can be overclocked to 300 watts, and it's in a slightly smaller form factor as well, which is just crazy. And this is due to this new Dynavort cooling system that Zhiyun has trademarked, allowing for continuous operation at high power levels without overheating. The G300 has a separate control unit for easily adjusting of the settings, and I'm glad Zhiyun has also given us a 7.5 meter long power cable on the G300, so you can actually make the most of having a separate controller, especially when you're doing, say, like overhead lighting or anything like that. This is going to be an absolute game changer. It has a CRI of 95, a TLCI of 97, plus a CQS, whatever that is. It's got a 94 of that. I have never heard of that before. I think I've been out of the game a little bit too long. Now, looking at the actual quality of the light, it looks really, really nice. So currently we're at 20% at 2700 Kelvin. And if we crank this up, so let's go to 3200 Kelvin, 4300 Kelvin, 5500 Kelvin, which the camera is also set to 5500 Kelvin. So we can see what the light quality is like if it is very accurate. And then 6500 Kelvin as well. So this should look a little bit cooler than normal, than like a 5500 Kelvin daylight light. But what does it look like? What do you think? Right, so basically this is what we got. We got the ballast here, which the power plugs into, and then you have the power cable that comes out of it that goes into the head. And this is what we're looking at. So this is the bi-colored head. You can see there's two different rows of colored chips. So we've got the 2700 and the 6500 Kelvin, and that's how it mixes to make it a bicolor. It also has a protective bit of glass on it as well, so you can't actually touch the chip. Especially with bugs and stuff hitting it, it won't actually damage the chip itself. What I'm noticing about is that the actual reflector dish in here is very narrow but. So I'm not sure if that's going to affect the lighting quality or not, but we'll have to do some testing and figure that out. This is also a standard Bowens mount as well. So you can put all your standard Bowens mount modifiers on here. So we've got like an 8-pin connector there. That just clicks in like so. We also have a umbrella holder here as well, if you want to use the umbrella instead of the Bowens mount. And then we have our adjuster on the controller. Very, very basic. So we got an on-off button here. We've got the dim control here, and we have the CC control here. Now you can see how they both say max, which basically just means that if you press it, it'll go in incremental stages until it gets to the full brightness, which is super, super cool. It's got a couple of pads on the back, so if you want to put it down somewhere, it's a bit grippy. The only downside of this light is that it's only AC, so you can't actually run this off batteries from this anyway. I don't know if they got another module that allows you to connect batteries to the head, but with this, you cannot use batteries. All right, so now I've been using this light for a few weeks now, and I'm very impressed by the size of it. However, there's a few things that I'm not that impressed by. The main one is the loudness of the fan. Now, even when you're not using it in the overclocked mode, in the 500 watt mode, the fans are quite loud. When we were filming the other day, I think we're using it about 25%, and the sound was quite audible when we were filming that. So you need to be really careful if you are using this as your main key light to make sure that's not too close to the mic. Otherwise you will hear that fan sound. So you can see here we have the interface, very, very simple. We have our CCT on the top and our dim on the left here. So now you can see at the top here, it has CCT max. So now if you press and hold both of these, it'll go back to CCT, not max, and that'll go to 300 watts. If you press and hold, it'll turn to max. Oh my goodness. And that'll allow you to get the 500 watt max out of this. Right now, by far, one of the biggest things that I always get asked is about noise of fans, because it's super important, right? When you are filming interviews and stuff, you want to make sure that it's not super loud. So right now we're on 1%, so the fans aren't on. It can handle that pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this, right, so let's put it there. So that's about arm's distance away from me. So let's crank this up to 100% on the overclocked mode, and let's see how loud this actually is. So it sounds like this is the max fan speed that it's going to be going at. The point I'm trying to make here is that you wouldn't use this overclocked as a key light close to a microphone to start. You'd use it as like a fill or something further away, so it doesn't matter if this is loud or not, because it's not going to affect your audio in the scene. The only other thing I don't like is that it doesn't come with a carry bag. Like, it comes in the box and then that's it. And for this light, like, I know that you can't use it on batteries. I know it's possibly like a studio light. Because it is such a small form factor, it is something that I would take on site with me to client shoots, but without a bag or without a carry case, it just makes it a little bit more difficult to be able to do that. Now, I'm not sure if they sell this separately or anything like that, but I would love to have an upgraded version that has the carry bag in it, so that you don't have to worry about that at a later date. One thing that I really do love, but is the app. I've used a lot of lighting apps in my time, and a lot of them are quite clunky. They've got some good things, they've got some bad things. I'm not saying that their app is the best out of all of them, but there are some really good features that I really, really like. The main one being is that the interface is just so easy to understand, and it's so easy to use. Like, even if you gave this to someone who'd never used it before, it makes sense. Like, when you're looking at it, everything's in the right spot. It just makes a lot of sense when you're going through it. I love the fact that they have the gels in there as well. So if you are pairing this light with a daylight balance light that you're gonna put gels on, then it makes it super easy to match this as well. And also the studio function as well. It's not there quite yet, but the main thing I love is that when you place lights and you change the color balance, for instance, it actually gives you a representation of what the color balance is on that light on the studio map, which just makes it really easy to actually like navigate and figure out which lights where, even if your orientation changes, which I really, really like. Now, in terms of price, the G200 will go for 659 Australian dollars, and the G300, which is the one I've got, will go for $1,059, which I think is a really good price. Again, I would like to see a carry case in there as well, which would make this even more valuable. But if you're comparing this to, say, 500 watt lights, which is technically what this can do, it's a freaking bargain when you compare it to that. Righty guys, so I hope you enjoyed this look at the Zhiyun G300. I've got a bunch of other reviews coming out very, very soon. So if you did like this, make sure to like and subscribe and stay tuned for that. But I'm back. The videos are coming back. If you have any videos you want to see in the future, leave some comments down below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.